They suspended her for being poor. But when she returned with a world-famous designer, everything changed. Welcome to Wealth and Wounds, the channel that uncovers stories of injustice, resilience, and the unexpected victories of the underdog. If you believe in truth, justice, and standing up for those who are silenced, hit subscribe now. Today's story is going to shake you, make you angry, and leave you cheering for justice. The bell rang at Willow Creek High, and students spilled into the hallways in waves of chatter, laughter, and slamming lockers. At the far end of the corridor walked Amara Jones, a 16-year-old sophomore. Her clothes were simple, an old faded hoodie with one sleeve slightly torn, and a pair of jeans patched up by hand. To her, they weren't just clothes. They were survival. Her single mother worked nights at a diner, and money barely stretched far enough for rent and food. Fashion was a luxury Amara couldn't afford. But not everyone saw it that way. When Amara entered the main office that morning, Principal Everett was waiting. He was tall, stern, and known for being unforgiving with students who didn't fit the image of his pristine school. "Miss Jones," he said coldly, eyeing her outfit, "this is completely unacceptable." Amara frowned. "Sir, it's just a hoodie and jeans. I've worn this before." Everett slammed a folder on his desk. "This school has a reputation to maintain. We can't have students walking around looking ragged. You are hereby suspended for 1 week. Effective immediately." Amara's jaw dropped. "Suspended? For my clothes?" The office secretary looked uncomfortable. Students in the hallway glanced in, whispering. Amara felt her face burn with shame. Everett leaned forward, voice dripping with arrogance. "Maybe if you spent less time looking poor and more time trying, you wouldn't be such a disgrace to this school." The words cut deep. Amara gathered her backpack, her eyes stinging with tears. As she walked out, whispers trailed her like knives. That evening, Amara sat at the kitchen table while her mother scrubbed dishes in silence. The tension in the air was heavy. "They suspended you for what you wore?" her mother asked, her voice trembling with disbelief. Amara nodded, holding back tears. "He said I was a disgrace." Her mother's hands gripped the dish towel so tightly her knuckles turned white. "Baby, don't you ever let anyone tell you your worth is measured by fabric. You are more than what you wear." But the pain lingered. Amara couldn't shake the humiliation. She thought of dropping out, of never going back to Willow Creek High again. Then something happened. Her best friend, Lila, who had filmed the confrontation in the office, decided to post it online. Within hours, the clip spread across social media. Thousands of people watched Principal Everett sneer as he suspended a poor girl over her clothes. And among those who saw it was someone Amara could never have expected. 2 days later, the phone rang in Amara's tiny apartment. Her mother answered, then nearly dropped the receiver. "Amara," she whispered, "you need to take this." Confused, Amara picked up. "Hello, Amara Jones?" a smooth voice asked. "This is Julian Delacroix. I'm a fashion designer." Amara's heart skipped a beat. Julian Delacroix, the man behind the biggest fashion houses in New York, known for his bold advocacy for inclusivity in fashion. "I saw your video," Julian continued, "and I was disgusted. That principal humiliated you for not wearing designer clothes? Well, how about you come to school with me? Let's see if he feels the same way when the world is watching." Amara's breath caught in her throat. "You do that for me?" "Not just for you," Julian said. "For every kid who's ever been told they weren't good enough because of money. You represent them. Say yes, Amara. Let's make a statement." Amara whispered, "Yes." The following Monday, the halls of Willow Creek High buzzed with gossip. Word had spread. Amara was coming back, despite her suspension. And she wasn't coming alone. At 9 a.m., sleek black cars pulled up outside the school. Out stepped Julian Delacroix, cameras flashing around him, reporters swarming. And beside him walked Amara, no longer in her patched-up jeans, but in a stunning custom outfit designed just for her. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't expensive-looking, but it radiated dignity, power, and confidence. The entire student body gasped. Phones shot into the air, recording everything. Inside the office, Principal Everett nearly choked on his coffee when Julian walked in with Amara at his side. "Mr. Everett, Julian said smoothly. I believe you suspended this young woman for not meeting your fashion standards. Everett stammered. This isn't. We were just enforcing dress code policy. Julian cut him off sharply. No, what you did was humiliate a child for being poor, and I won't stand for it. Amara Jones will not only return to this school, she will be the face of my new campaign, Beauty Beyond Labels. Every news outlet in this country will see this story. Every parent will know how you treat their children. Everett's face turned red, sweat dripping down his temple. The cameras outside the office door captured every word. The superintendent was called immediately. When she arrived and saw the chaos, she turned on Everett with fury. You suspended a student over her financial status? Mr. Everett, you have embarrassed this district on a national stage. Everett tried to defend himself, but it was useless. By the end of the day, he was placed on administrative leave pending investigation. As for Amara, she walked the halls with her head high. Students who once whispered now applauded. Some even hugged her. For the first time, she felt seen. That evening, Amara stood in front of the cameras beside Julian. They told me I was a disgrace because of my clothes, she said, her voice steady. But what I've learned is that your worth doesn't come from fabric, labels, or money. It comes from how you carry yourself and how you treat others. If you're watching this and you've ever been judged for what you didn't have, remember, you are enough. The crowd erupted in cheers. Her mother cried tears of pride. Julian smiled with admiration. Justice, it seemed, had been served. But just as Amara began to enjoy her newfound confidence, a letter arrived in the mail. It wasn't from the school. It wasn't from Julian. It was from Everett's lawyer. The disgraced principal was threatening to sue Amara and her mother for defamation, blaming them for the destruction of his career. Amara froze as she read the words. Her fight was far from over. Amara sat on her bed, clutching the thick white envelope. Her mother stood frozen by the kitchen counter. Inside the letter were bold black words. Notice of intent to file suit. Principal Everett, humiliated, suspended, and exposed, was now blaming Amara and her mother for his downfall. He demanded $500,000 for emotional distress, reputational harm, and defamation. Amara's voice cracked. Mama, how can he do this? We don't even have money for rent, and he wants $500,000. Her mother sank into a chair, whispering, He's trying to destroy us, baby. He's angry that he lost. Now he wants revenge. Fear rippled through their small apartment. But Amara clenched her fists. He's not going to win. Not this time. The lawsuit made headlines. Principal Everett strikes back. Suspended teen faces legal battle. Reporters camped outside their building. Classmates whispered again, not with laughter this time, but with doubt. She's just a kid, some said. She can't fight a man with lawyers. But then came an unexpected knock at their door. When Amara opened it, she nearly fainted. Julian Delacroix stood there again, this time not in designer clothes, but in a plain shirt and jeans, his eyes sharp with determination. I saw the news, he said, and I'm not letting him bully you anymore. Amara's mother hesitated. But lawyers, they cost so much money. Julian smiled. Don't worry about that. I've already arranged for someone. One of the best civil rights attorneys in the country. She'll meet you tomorrow. Amara blinked. Why? Why are you helping me this much? Julian's voice softened. Because when I was your age, they humiliated me for being poor too. I promised myself that one day, I'd protect kids like you. And today is that day. The courthouse was packed on the day of the first hearing. Students, teachers, reporters, everyone wanted to see the drama unfold. On one side of the courtroom sat Everett, smug in a navy blue suit, surrounded by expensive lawyers. He smirked at Amara as if victory were already his. On the other side sat Amara, trembling but not alone. Her mother held her hand. Julian sat behind her. And at the front of the table stood attorney Cassandra Moore, a tall black woman known for dismantling injustice in the courtroom. The judge entered, and silence fell. Everett's lawyer wasted no time. This girl and her family ruined Principal Everett's career by spreading a video online taken out of context. He has suffered unbearable emotional distress. We demand damages of $500,000. Everett leaned back, smirking. Then Cassandra rose. Her voice was sharp, steady, commanding. Your Honor, what the plaintiff calls emotional distress is actually accountability. My client was suspended for the crime of being poor. And when the truth came out, instead of apologizing, this man doubled down on his cruelty. We will prove not only that this lawsuit is baseless, but that Principal Everett abused his power. The jury shifted. Reporters scribbled furiously. Amara's heart pounded. Cassandra called her first witness, the secretary from the office who had been there the day Everett suspended Amara. Trembling, the woman admitted under oath. Yes, Principal Everett said Amara was a disgrace because of her clothes. I want to speak up then, but I was afraid of losing my job. Gasps rippled across the courtroom. Next came Lila, Amara's best friend, who confirmed that she filmed the incident because she had seen Everett pick on poor students before. Finally, Cassandra played the viral video on the courtroom screen. Everett's own words echoed through the room. Maybe if you spent less time looking poor and more time trying, you wouldn't be such a disgrace to this school. The jury shifted uncomfortably. Everett's lawyer scrambled to object, but the damage was done. Everett's smirk vanished. By the second week of trial, the tide had turned completely. Cassandra presented evidence that Everett had targeted multiple students from low-income families, using suspensions and humiliations to push them out. One mother even broke down in tears on the stand. My son quit school because of what Principal Everett said to him. He told him he'd never amount to anything because of the way we lived. The judge's face hardened. The jury shook their heads in disgust. Then, Cassandra dropped the final blow. She revealed that Julian Delacroix himself had quietly been funding scholarships for low-income students, and Amara was now one of them. Your Honor, Cassandra said firmly, this girl is not just some poor child he can push aside. She is the future, and this lawsuit, this is nothing more than revenge from a man who cannot stand accountability. The courtroom was silent as the jury returned with their verdict. On the matter of defamation, we find in favor of the defendant, Amara Jones. Amara burst into tears of relief. Her mother hugged her tightly. Julian closed his eyes, whispering, "Justice." But the judge wasn't done. Furthermore, the judge declared, we find this lawsuit frivolous and retaliatory. Principal Everett is ordered to pay all legal fees and issue a public apology to Amara Jones. Gasps filled the courtroom. Everett's face drained of color. His empire of power had collapsed in front of everyone. Amara stood taller than she ever had before. Outside the courthouse, cameras swarmed. Reporters thrust microphones forward. How does it feel to win, Amara? One shouted. Amara wiped her tears and spoke into the cameras. It feels like justice. But this wasn't just about me. This was about every student who has ever been told they aren't good enough because of what they wear, where they live, or how much money their family has. Principal Everett tried to break me. Instead, he taught me my voice has power, and I'm going to keep using it. The crowd erupted in applause. Amara's mother whispered, I'm so proud of you. Julian smiled. This is only the beginning. That night, as Amara sat at home, her phone buzzed. It wasn't another reporter. It wasn't Julian. It was a message from an unknown number. You think you've won, but you don't know the whole story. Everett wasn't working alone. Someone bigger is coming for you. Amara's eyes widened. Her battle had just reached a whole new level. If this story shook you, don't just keep it to yourself, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe to Wealth and Wounds right now, because part 2 will reveal a twist you won't see coming.